All right, all right. Hey, everybody. Let us know where you're coming from. Giving it a little bit more time here for folks to pile in. Thank you so much for joining us. While we're waiting for folks to settle in here, let us know where you're tuning in from. Just drop it into the chat. See Erwin from Amsterdam. Hey, Erwin. Oh, we got New Orleans, Toronto. Hey, Darren. Jack from the UK, Colombia, New Mexico. Awesome. South Africa, Utah, Vancouver. This is amazing. All right, folks. Thank you so much for joining us here today. This has been a long time coming. We've been working on this for a while, so I'm really excited to have you all here. If you haven't seen me before, hi. I'm Andy Claremont, your head of community here at Glide, and welcome to Glide Next, formerly known as Glide Roundtables, where we're sharing what's new and what's coming to Glide. Now, we are keeping an eye on the chat, so if you have any questions, please just drop them in there, and we will get to them at the end. Now, Glide AI, it's a big thing. But it's not something totally new to us. It's something that we've been thinking about for a while. And from the beginning, we have wanted to ensure that we were being thoughtful about our approach to AI. So if you were to go back to our research from a few years ago, you could see how we were looking at how AI could make it even easier for you to build apps in Glide. Now, our thinking at the time was that if you could tell us what you wanted to build, we could use generative AI to create apps for you. Now, this year, we turned our focus to power. And so we started looking at AI from that perspective. How could you use AI to build more powerful apps in Glide? So back in the spring, we launched our new actions and integrations. These new capabilities let you connect your Glide apps to the tools that you're already using for work, right? Without having to go through a third party. And as it turned out, actions and integrations like OpenAI were by far the most popular. So when we look at all of the things that you can plug your Glide apps into, there was this overwhelming demand for plugging in to AI. And we knew that while those OpenAI integrations got us part of the way there, part of the way to building more powerful apps, we also knew that we could go further. So that's what we've done. With Glide AI, we've made it possible for you to add AI to your apps in minutes, and it's as simple as editing a spreadsheet. Now, with Glide AI, you don't need to deal with configuring APIs, choosing models, or worrying about token usage. You can just focus on building your apps while we handle the complexities behind the scenes. So what can you do with Glide AI? Well, you can generate text. You can convert unstructured data into structured data, and you can extract text from images and audio. And we think of all these different pieces as AI building blocks that you can use with any data source that works with Glide. So if you have Google Sheets connected, Airtable, Excel, you can extend all of that data using Glide AI. So here's an example. Centerline Business Services is a technology consulting and back office support firm, and they work with family offices and investment companies from across the United States. They have over 80 employees, and they've built more than 50 apps using Glide. Now, most recently, they've been using Glide AI to streamline their operations, saving a bunch of time, like the equivalent of over 2 full-time employees. And here's Trey Heath, the president of Centerline. sharing a little bit about their experience.
I see and read about other companies like ours that are trying to come up with ideas about how to use AI in their day-to-day operations. But they're limited about how they integrate that interface into their existing business process. We have all these ideas that we knew that AI could help us with, but how do we bring that into an interface so we can use every day? Well, Glide provides. With Glide and the AI integration, what we're able to do is we can build an interface that works great, that works with our current business processes, and create tons of efficiency there. The fact that we were able to build that and have that automated summary month to month TTM, trailing 6 month comparisons just generated for us that automatically goes out to our investors through an email or push notification. It's amazing.
All right, so that's a lot of hype for Glide AI, and I love watching that video because that last takeaway is really where it hits home. The things that you can do just by adding Glide AI to the apps that you're already building is pretty awesome. So, how do you actually put this into action? Love that the comment in the chat from Kevin. Thanks, Kevin. Trey and I, maybe long lost brothers. Who knows? Maybe. But when it comes to actually implementing AI in your Glide apps, how is it done? Well, you have two main options. You can add AI in the data editor as a column, just like you would add integrations or computed columns, or you can add AI to your workflows via custom actions. Now, it's one thing to talk about all of this and to show you some testimonials and all that fun stuff, but I think it's much better if we were to actually do a little bit of show and tell here. So here's David, Glide CEO David Siegel. David, you've been sharing a lot of this stuff on social, a lot of little sneak peeks, doing builds. What's your main takeaway when it comes to Glide AI?
It's a fascinating new technology that we're all learning together how we're going to get the most out of it. I feel like I'm learning more than ever. That's been what's really exciting about AI for me, is like I almost feel like I'm sort of starting over learning what software is, because the capabilities are so novel, and like the things that you can create are unlike anything I've ever created before. And they're subtle, and we're like starting small. It's not like, you know, a Glide app is this automaton that can just sort of run your business while you go on vacation for you, while you go on vacation. Like, we're not at that level yet, but the subtleties of like putting AI computations into your apps and like asking it to make recommendations and even decisions and categorizing data is just totally fascinating. And I'm really excited to take everyone through it.
Nice. So yeah, we got some stuff prepped. So you want to take it away?
Sure.
Bring your screen up and let's get to it.
Okay. Andy, can you see my screen?
I can see your screen.
So yeah, I think I'm just going to start by showing the AI-powered feature that we're going to look at in Glide. I'll first just start by using it. So one nice thing is there's a new release of macOS coming out in the next week that lets you install Glide apps, just like you can install them on Android, iOS, and Windows, which is to install them as full applications. So I created this support application for a fictional company. It's an IT ticketing system. So we have all the people who work at the company, what department they're in, and some bio information. And then we have the open tickets submitted by our employees. So I'm going to open a form that's also built in Glide as an employee, and I'm just going to submit a quick ticket, and then we'll see what happens afterwards, and I'll explain what AI has to do with it. I keep getting text messages from our CFO really late at night asking for banking information, like our routing numbers. Our CFO never texts me. This is pretty unusual. What should I do? So I'm just going to speak and record some issue and then submit this as a ticket. And you can see in the bottom left, we're processing the audio. and it could not process the audio. Okay, Glide AI is in beta, and sometimes we're sort of finessing some of these features. So I'm just going to, instead of using recording, which we couldn't process the audio file, I'm going to just use my on-device dictation. Hi, I keep getting text messages from the CFO late at night asking me for banking information like our routing numbers. I normally don't get texts from this person. What should I do? Should I respond? So instead of using the recording that we're transcribing, I just typed in directly because the recording didn't work. But you can see on the left, this is the ticket I've submitted as an employee. And you can see that a title has been created, concerned about late night text requests. And this has been categorized as a cybersecurity issue and assigned to someone in the company. And here's my description. And on the right-hand side, we're back in our internal app. And this is what the IT team is looking at. So we get a summary created by the AI. It's categorized the issue as cybersecurity, so we could elevate that more quickly. And it's even assigned to John Smith. And if we look at our team members, we see that John is in cybersecurity. And I can say, hold on, please do not answer those texts. This is a phishing attack. So someone inside the company posts a comment, and this is not an AI feature, it's just a general feature of Glide commenting. And that comment is going to synchronize over to the app that our employees are using. That employee can just respond that they got the information. I'll do one more so we can see this in action one more time. I'm having trouble logging into our internal employee app. I keep getting a message about an SSO error. Can someone please help me? So in this case, this is a general issue, and it's been categorized as IT help desk, and it's been assigned to Ali. And we can see over in the internal side as well, it's been summarized, categorized, and assigned. And if we look at our team members, here's Ali, who is responsible for IT help desk issues. So what's happening is we are just taking a very brief bit of input from the user, a small description, and that's getting summarized, titled, categorized, and assigned to a department, and then ultimately assigned to an individual person to take care of. And then we can filter on this data. So if we only want to see cybersecurity related tickets, we're going to just bubble up more quickly to people inside the company looking for these issues, things that have been categorized in this way. So let me show you pretty quickly inside of Glide how this works. So this is the internal app that we've been building inside the company, and this is the view in the data of our information. And here we can see the row that didn't work when we tried to just do this based on recording inside the app. I'm going to delete that. So what's happening here is we just have a plain text column that's storing information, and you see these columns with these pink, we call this color brain because it represents the intelligence of the AI. These brain colored icons, we're generating a title based on the user description. So this is using one of the AI columns, generate text, and has these instructions: generate 6-word title for this support ticket, use title case. And for input, we give it the user description. And then similarly, this is one of my favorite AI columns. It's called text to choice. In this case, we're asking the AI to choose one of a fixed set of options. In this case, it's the categories or the departments in our company. And the instructions are, based on the submitted IT ticket, pick the relevant department to assign it to. And if you don't know, assign it to help desk, and then we give it the description. So what happens is when someone submits a ticket, they might say, my laptop charger isn't working. Can I borrow one? You're going to see immediately we get a title, a categorization, and the category is actually used to look up which employee can help with this ticket most effectively. And if this changes to someone stole my password, the categorization, the summarization, and the assignment is going to change instantly. And then if for some reason we get inundated in our system with 50 more issues, The system is similar, going to be able to immediately summarize, categorize, and assign them to people. So what I'm trying to show here is just a different way to think about the capabilities of adding AI in your app. If you have been paying cursory attention to AI, you might think of it as something you can chat with or something that can generate an image or generate text. But in this case, we're using it to route issues to different people based on their expertise within our company. It's actually making decisions and categorizing things. And then that categorization flows into our interface where we can say, okay, I only want to see the cybersecurity issues. And then we can look at those directly. And I'll show one more thing before we jump back to you, Andy. This is probably a type of spreadsheet column that you've never seen before. And you can find more of them next to all of our other column types. So basic columns are columns that store data. Computed columns are arithmetic and operations on text. And then we have this new category of AI. And these are probably types of things that even if you've used a lot of software or created your own software, these are types of calculations that you've never used before. So we created a Playground app, which is available in our template store. The Playground app explores all of these individual features in detail and shows you different use cases. So you can try interacting with them on your own. So you get an overview of the different features, but here's that text to choice column, for example, the one that we used in the IT app to take the issue description and assign it to a department. Here are 3 very different use cases that use that same column type. So the first one is sentiment analysis. So the instructions are analyze sentiment. The choices are positive, negative, neutral. And here's the message, 5.5 stars. And this is assigned positive. If the user says 1.5 stars, that's considered to be negative. This is sort of like the IT case or the assignment case we saw in our app. Assign the task to the correct team. Your choices are finance, engineering, product, executive, or marketing. The message, we need to change our ad spend, that gets assigned to the marketing team. So this is sort of a higher level feature that's using AI to classify and assign. Here's another one that I think is pretty interesting. It doesn't sound like a very fancy feature, text to number. What does that have to do with AI? But here's 3 use cases that show how powerful this can be. So this is, we're trying to just, based on the user's review, whatever they type, we're trying to determine how many stars they assigned. And in this case, they happen to mention 5.5 stars, and we actually get a valid number, 5.5. Here's a more interesting case. So we're gonna get text out of an invoice or receipt, and the instructions are to find the tax, and it gets 2.45. So these are these little, very subtle building blocks with names that don't sound very impressive, text to choice, text to number. But when you string them together and you put them inside a Glide app and give them a user interface, you get these very remarkable, like automated categorization, decision-making, assigning tickets to people, summarizing things that users have typed in into sort of single sentence descriptions so you can understand more quickly and prioritize your work.
All right. Thanks so much, David.
Cheers.
Nice lightning example of how quickly you can get stuff done with Glide AI. So if you're not using Glide AI yet, you can learn more about Glide AI. GlideApps.com/AI gives you all the information you need. And you can head over to our docs for a fantastic AI section that goes into the details for all of the different components and building blocks that you can use. So Glide AI is in production right now in beta for all Glide users on Pro plans and above. So if you haven't started playing with it yet, I highly, highly suggest that you get in there and start doing it. All right, now time for questions. Let's hop over to the list here. So first off, from Albert, what's the difference between Glide AI and using an OpenAI integration?
So Glide AI uses different models for different tasks. So we select the best, most up-to-date model based on the use case that you're trying to do when you're building the app. So if you're turning audio into text, In this case, we are using an OpenAI model, Whisper. But we also have image to text, where you can take an image and get all of the letters in the image, like the raw text, and you can even extract structured data from the image. That's using a totally different model. I think that one is provided either by Google Cloud or Azure. So we will pick different models, and these models are iterating really quickly. We'll upgrade them even. So you might build an app and you say, I need this ability to make a choice to assign these tickets to departments in my company. If your company is using this app and we discover that a big advancement has been made with a new model, we can bring that model online for your app, and your software for your company will just get smarter without you having to do anything. That's like the basic premise of how Glide works, is we try to prevent you or make it so you don't have to concern yourself with choosing these small, low-level details, so we can move them forward and manage them for you over time. Also, you don't have to go get a developer key. When you sign up for OpenAI, you have to go give them your credit card, get a key, put that in Glide. We manage all of that for you, so you're just going to pay us. And and then these subtle high-level features like text to choice is not something that is available in the OpenAI integration. Those are all layers that we've built on top of some of these low-level AI APIs to translate them and sort of level them up to the level of thinking that you're doing when you're building your app, because they tend to be much lower level.
Awesome. Another question here we got in registration. How can Glide AI help with visualizing data or getting those summaries from a large amount of data coming in? What can you do with Glide AI to help with that?
Well, the first one is to use the generate text ability and to instruct it to summarize. And one tip, you always want to be kind of precise when you're giving instructions. So you saw in the case of the demo app, our instructions are, you're getting an IT help request, you need to route it to the right team. If you ask it to summarize, you should say how long you want the summary to be. You could say summarize in 1 word, summarize in 1 paragraph, summarize in 3 sentences, and then just give it a large amount of data to summarize. One pattern that we've been using a lot at Glide is summarizing comments by joining all of the comments on a page into a block of text, and then say, extract the 3 most important bullet points from all of these comments, so that people on the team can add information, for example, to a page about a customer, and that can get summarized at the top. You can also feed it data points. So you can say, this is the usage data for the customer, summarize their activity. And it will say, well, their usage is growing. So that's one way, is using generate text.
Nice. Related to comments, we have a couple questions here about conversational AI. I think one of the great things about the building blocks approach is that we're not limited to conversational UI for AI. But if you wanted to build that sort of interface, whether it be, let's say, an embedded assistant, is that something that you can do with Glide AI?
Yeah, I think we have a chat component in Glide that creates a bubble-driven conversational interface with a text input, and you can hook that up to AI calculations, so the AI can produce the messages that get shown there. And I know that we have at least 1 template in our AI templates category of someone who has built this, so you can go take a look at it.
Awesome. Question here, any plans to add generative image creation to Glide AI?
We haven't. So we're kind of developing this together with our customers. When we find a use case for business, we bring that into Glide AI, and then we iterate it with the customer. We haven't had any business customers ask us to generate images. We have had people submitting templates to our template store, like art generators. We don't really see the market for that or who our customer would be, so we're definitely not prioritizing it. But in general, yeah, I think we do want to generate. One we want to do is text to audio. We're using that a lot even on our own videos, and it can be very useful to take some text inside of your app and make it something someone can play, so they could get the information without looking at the screen, because we have a lot of customers who are using Glide mobilely, obviously, And sometimes they're doing a job where they don't want to look at the screen, but they need to get some information. So yeah, we're looking out for it, but we haven't seen sort of a clear request from our customers for that.
Gotcha. So along those lines, separate from image generation, in terms of the future of Glide AI and other things that we're looking at, anything else you'd like to share about what the future may hold for Glide AI?
Yeah, we Glide AI sounds like sort of this is our ultimate thesis about what AI can do. This is just like tiny little toes in the water, obviously. Like, well, obvious to me and obvious to us, but maybe not to everyone attending this. These are like the smallest little building blocks that you can put in your data grid or an action to start doing some AI-powered categorization, summarization, translation, extraction. But what we think that we have a long runway ahead of us of discovering higher level use cases. For example, asking either a qualitative question about a large set of data, like tell me the 5 highest spending customers, or a quantitative question rather, or a qualitative question where you might ask a question and you might have a supplementary table full of FAQs or even links to documents. And the system, you would want it to index that and do kind of a semantic search and question answering. That's something that we have seen customers do with our OpenAI integration, which does have a sort of a conversational action via ChatGPT. So yeah, we want to just keep building up these use cases and then eventually do the ease of use side of AI as well. So we are really excited about, tell us what you want to do and we'll automatically construct an app for you. We were more excited in our year of power of making your apps more powerful by actually putting AI in them, which is the theme of Glide AI today. But yeah, I think you'll see higher level use cases as we discover them, and even new types of software that you can build with Glide. So in general, we view Glide as a company for creating software development tools for everyone. And there's many forms of software, and AI will introduce new types of software that we're not even using today. And we would love to, in the long term, explore letting you create those types of software in Glide.
Fantastic. All right, we have time for a couple more questions here, and there have been a lot in the chat. So if we don't get to your question, don't worry, we've saved it. Hit the community afterwards. We're going to have a write-up of this session with takeaways, and we're going to answer the questions. So heads up. So one other question here. Around data usage. So since Glide AI is handling all of that interfacing with other APIs, when it comes to usage limits and resource management, things like that, are there any limits, restrictions? What should users have in mind when they're using Glide AI?
Yeah, so we give a lot away for free on Glide, and we have a lot of people who think that basically most of Glide is free. But these AI-driven features do have a cost for us. So we charge our customers for them. So you have to be on Pro and above. And when you use the features, they consume updates, which are sort of the usage-based currency in Glide for expensive features. So you can keep an eye on how much AI you're using on your usage page. And we do put controls in place to minimize how much expensive AI calculation we have to do on our back end. That's one of the benefits of Glide AI, is that we cache the results of the AI system across all of the apps on your Glide team. So for example, if we had 50 people using those apps that I demonstrated, the AI is just going to calculate the summary of each ticket and the assignment of each ticket once. And all 50 people would share that result after the first person generates it. That cache lasts for 30 days. We don't have an indefinite data retention window. But in general, we try to make it more efficient in terms of cost and time to display something on the screen. So that's how you can think about usage. And for specifics about how much context you can give to these actions, you can look for that in our documentation.
Perfect. Alrighty. So final question for you, kind of continuing this theme here. Any general advice, tips, recommendations for folks who are starting to build with Glide AI?
Well, I would start in the template store and I would copy that playground app that I showed you and just go through step by step the features and see the use cases, edit the instructions to understand how how you configure these things changes how they behave. And then you can join us on our community forum, and we can brainstorm together about ways to bring these into your apps. It's not everyone is very interested. As our customer said, people are playing with these chat interfaces like Bard and ChatGPT. They might be buying seats for those tools for people in their company, but everyone's still trying to figure out, okay, how do I actually create a system that's repeatable and scalable that I can give to 200 employees to help them move much more quickly? I hope that we've demonstrated something that looks like it could have that potential in that sort of simple ticketing example. But yeah, we can brainstorm together on our community forum. If you have a problem, a lot of people are coordinating, they're making decisions that take them a long time. You want to bring in a system that can sort of suggest answers ahead of time or help sort of frame their understanding of a lot of information. We can discover those together and collaborate.
Fantastic. All right. That's a wonderful segue. So that is it for this portion of our session. And if you would like to get hands-on with Glide AI, we are doing our first ever community hangout on Zoom for the next couple hours. So you can come on over, build alongside us, bring your questions. I'm going to be hacking away on some projects. We can all do a little co-working session. And if you don't have access to Glide AI because you're not on a pro team or above, don't worry. If you join us in the hangout, we have created a business plan team, and we'll throw the invite for that team into the hangout chat so you can jump in there, join the team, and start building apps in there alongside other folks. So there's the link. It'll be in the description below. We'll drop it in the chat. Come on over and join us there, and we'll see you on Zoom. And that is it for us for this portion. David, thank you so much.
Oh, your voice has gone all garbly, Andy.
Oh no, went all garbly.
Thanks, everyone. Yeah, I can't wait to see
everyone.
what we build together.
All right, thanks everybody. We'll see you next time on the next Glide Next, and we'll see you in the community. Cheers.